Closer and closer they come. He twished his head, instinctively trying to clear the feed. There was something familiar about that echo, as if it were a voice he heard before. He tensed as a sudden thought occurred to him. He had heard it before. He turned slowly, his armor senses cycling through the scanning frequencies. That they might be here, now, seemed improbable. But it was not impossible. As he turned, the dual boom sounded again, somehow closer this time. Was the internal structure of the craft roll succumbing to the neglect at last? But that sound was too regular, too rhythmic, like a series of controlled explosions. The Vox link crackled. Sakwara's voice sounded in his ears, garbled and incomprehensible. The word bearer sounded agitated. Not unusual, but the timing could not be ignored. A single gesture put Sanova and her warriors on high alert. Ambushes were not uncommon in the webway. The twisted kin of the Eldar regarded subspace as their personal fiefdom and reacted aggressively when confronted by those they deemed intruders. But this did not feel like them. They did their taunting face to face, not at a distance. The Vox squealed, stinging his ears. A bolter roared, chewing chunks from a curving wall as something half-glimpsed darted away, laughing. Fabius's hand dropped to his needler. "Something is here with us, Man-Flayer," Scalagrim said, tracking something with his bolt pistol. "I can see them, just barely." Impossibly thin shadows stretched and squirmed within the glare of the stab lights. Pale faces peered out through jagged cracks in the walls or from within forgotten doorways as the sound of soft singing pattered down like rain. A scream sounded down the Vox line, and Fabius saw one of Savona's warriors stagger, his armored form shrouded in a web of monofilament wires. The renegade struggled away from a shadowed archway, fighting the taut wires, even as they sliced through ceramite and into the meat beneath. The Space Marine toppled forward in a cloud of blood and was swiftly yanked backwards into the dark. His howls of anger degenerated into yelps of pain as he was dragged out of sight. A fusillade of bolter fire lit up the darkness as several of his fellows fired into the shadows. The King of Feathers bows before the Emperor of Ashes and bares his neck. Oh, he bares his neck for the blade. Not likely, Fabius snarled, raising torment. Even the barest touch from the artifact would send shockwaves of pain shooting through his opponent. But he had to hit them first. He twisted, searching. A mutant shrieked as something dragged it up the side of a broken wall and quickly out of sight. Another stumbled, coughing blood, and toppled with a wet whine as he clutched at the wound that had suddenly appeared in his throat. Two more died in the seconds that followed, torn apart by giggling shadow shapes. "Close ranks!" Fabius shouted. His words were lost as one of the Emperor's children howled in agony. The warrior staggered as a slim shape dodged back, clutching one of the renegade's hearts in his grip. A second shape leapt onto the wounded Space Marine's shoulder and plunged a flickering hand through his helmet as if he were not there and jabbed stiffened fingers into his skull. The warrior sank to his knees, babbling and singing as the shape swiftly plucked a mass of cerebral tissue from his head. Aryan lunged for the shape, his blade hissing out, but it flipped away, still clutching its prize. Threat runes flashed, spinning Savona shrieked a command, and her warriors began to fire in all directions, pouring death into every aperture. He heard the harsh cry of his glanhounds as they caught sight of their foe. "Chief Apothecary, we must retreat," Aryan said. He scrapped his blade together in agitation. Something about the Harlequins made the nails bite worse, Fabius knew. "Funny words coming from you," Scalagrim said. He reeved his chain axe. Before Aryan could reply, a typhoon of multicolored shapes suddenly whirled towards them from all directions. The Harlequins dropped down from above, slithered up through the cracks in the gallery floor and walls, or vaulted over the edge of the walkway, moving like leaves caught in an infernal wind. They came laughing and singing, filling the Vox with noise, drowning out any orders Fabius might have given.